Welcome to NRL 360 Rugby League from every angle, brought to you by Ford Everest. Joining me again, the great Gordon Tallis. With emotions running high, the Tigers were able to pull off a major upset yesterday against the Bulldogs, getting one back on their former teammate, Lachlan Galvin.
Lachlan Galvin, it's the first time that he's faced the team he walked away from. You can hear the Tigers fans, the boos ring out.
Luai versus Galvin, and there's a little bit there between the two former teammates. Luai running the ball, big right fend in the face of Lachlan Galvin. Mud flying everywhere, Luai in his face. Game on.
That's footy, bro. I'm a competitor, and it doesn't really matter who's on the other side. It's brothers and opposition, so that's how I see it.
Dewey gets away from kick out, almost beats Hughes as well, delivers to Buller, out to Skelton. Skelton plants it down. Dewey out of dummy half. He beat the chasers, still going through the Marty tackle. He's got Buller there with him. Buller races away. The Tigers have another one. Dewey, they won't get to him. Still going. Dewey goes coast to coast, and it is all the West Tigers.
Dewey moved into the halfback position, wearing 13, has been the best player in the field by a country mile.
To put out a performance like that, where do you want to be in 2026?
We'll see what happens. The media found up a few different teams, and we'll see what Richo says this week.
The celebrations commence. Benji Marshall and the Tigers have taken down the high-flying Bulldogs.
Yeah, all week people made it about him, but for us it's never about it. It's about our club playing against the Bulldogs. To put in that performance for us today was big for the whole club, and I thought our fans, given the season we've had, deserved that performance today.
What a game, what a win, what a performance by the West Tigers over the Bulldogs. Let's bring the journos in, Buzz Rothfield and Brent Read and Gordy. They set the scene. There was a lot of drama surrounding this one, and it was the upset of the year. The West Tigers just hammering the Bulldogs.
Well, it was you know what? If you would have tuned in after 20 minutes, you thought that the Dogs weren't up for it, but they were right up for it. In the rain, it was really high quality early. The Dogs started, but Dewey was absolutely fantastic. I think the best 40 minutes I've ever seen him play, but it was a great win for all the Tigers fans that were there in those conditions. They all stood as one and they made a lot of noise.
Probably my favourite 80 minutes of football all year. We had Penrith and Canterbury, sensational game. Not from a purist point of view this yesterday, but for absolute tribalism, for passion from the fans, for the emotions. That was rugby league at its very best this afternoon.
I was watching from the sideline, Braith, and it was just compulsive viewing. You couldn't take your eyes off it. It had a bit of everything, had great tries, had some mistakes, had some sloppy footy, but man, the Tigers were just up for it. They were up for it from the start yesterday.
Ready, we got some breaking news. Now, Lachlan Galvin, apparently he's gone for scans this afternoon. There is a chance he may be out for a few weeks.
Yeah, that's the word, Braith. I spoke to Cameron Sorrell that night and he said, look, he conceded he was in doubt. He's got a hand injury. He's had scans on that hand injury. I think Cam was still waiting to get the results of those scans back. But yeah, it looks like he's in serious doubt to play this weekend and perhaps longer.
Well, this could be big news, Gordy.
Yeah,
I mean, Sexton could come back in.
Well, you think Sexton would be the obvious choice? He had him on top of the table, you would think, Buzz?
Mitchell Ward's boom New South Wales Cup halfback was pulled out of Cup yesterday to be 18th man and get a taste of first grade yesterday. So
they got Bailey Hayward too.
They got Bailey Hayward too.
Yeah.
What if Sexton come back and brained him, Buzz?
Yeah, well, it'll be a massive.
You can flip again. No, you can flip again.
Yeah, I can.
You've been doing backflips.
I'm more concerned. You said breaking news. Yeah. I'm more concerned about this man's forehead.
It's pretty bad, isn't it? Gardening. Mate, I was on gardening leave.
Mate, tell us the real story. What happened?
I was putting a little fella to bed and I was closing the curtain, tripped over a suitcase and hit the window.
I asked for the real story.
That was it. No, that was it.
Yeah.
That's as deep as it gets, Buzz. You read about it.
Everyone's talking about this, the try celebrations from the Tigers, the chuth, as it's called.
The chuth.
I've learned how to do it. Yeah. Didn't know much about it until this. Now, I would say this first off. I don't want this here to overshadow a brilliant performance from the West Tigers. So I don't want to give this too much air. Let's address it. Thoughts on this situation?
Well, this was a case of players so hyped up, so worked up, a lot of feel in this match, and they could not control their emotions once they got the 2 points in the bag, and they inappropriately made what I'm told is like an up yours signal to the Canterbury Bulldogs fans. I can say the NRL didn't like it.
Someone's flipping the bird back, so they're getting it back.
Yeah, what I'm told though, Gordy, is there will be a punishment. We had a similar scenario in the AFL only the week before when a Hawthorn player gave the bird to the crowd.
Yeah.
He was fined $1,500. I'm told the West Tigers players who did the same will cop $1,500 fines.
It takes a little bit of gloss.
I find it like
It takes a little bit of gloss off, but just a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's silly. You know, I think it's silly, but I do question: did the NRL investigate other situations?
Every single one
about players and fans and incidents. I mean, we've copped way worse over time. And I haven't seen the NRL.
This one's public though, Braith, and you've got to remember Brent Read also went social media last night and posted something as well. So
that was silly.
Yeah, that was silly. And it's all silly, Braith. But the public nature of it and the fact it's been picked up, I think the NRL has to act in those situations.
Do we know what it means? Because I got told from my mates.
Well, as I said, I was told by a Lebanese mate that means up yours. Which is the same as when we do the bird and they just got a different finger signal.
It's not the crime of the century, Braith. I mean, it's just a slap on.
You don't want to get around the game,
I've tried to put it in
Braith.
context too. I've got a lot of Lebanese friends, right? And they're kind of split. A lot of them are like, man, even Tigers and Bulldog supporters are like, come on, there's not much in this. And there's others that are offended by it. So it's kind of a bit split, right? But I just think, a fine's sufficient.
But you know what it's done? It's created so much media and so much emotion afterwards that this game is all about rugby league tribalism. And if the NRL have got a clue, when they do their draw for next season, they will ensure West Tigers v Canterbury, 4 o'clock Sunday, a course stadium, 60,000 people, and that joint will go off. Round one.
No, it can't. That's in Vegas. I think the Dogs are going to Vegas.
Well, round 3.
There you go.
Right,
That's good.
I'd send the West Tigers to Vegas.
Let's get back. Let's get back to the footy. Benji said, and the players, quite a few of the players said they didn't speak about Galvin all week. Didn't even get a mention.
I reckon they would have known. There's some things that probably didn't need to be said. I reckon that they would have known. It's been so public. We knew about it. I got on the plane to go down and call the game, and that's what and I was thinking about the reception he was going to get, how he was going to play, how the Tigers players were going to treat him. I didn't have to talk about it. That's what I was thinking. So if I'm in that dressing room, Braith, probably didn't need to be said.
You could see when Luai ran the ball early in that game, I think it was about the 10th minute, put a fend on Lockie Galvin, then he stood over him and sort of glared down at him. And I was actually about this far from Benji on the sideline. And man, he was into that game. Like he was screaming the entire match. You could tell it meant something.
It's obvious that it meant more. The game meant more. You could feel it. You could see it. The Tigers were as pumped up as they've been all year.
If you see where they run out, and I called it, Galvin was smiling, looking at the crowd, and you just saw Luai just crouching and just staring. And I thought that was the attitude of both sides.
The West Tigers played like it was an Origin game. That's the sort of what they put into it. Obviously not with the skill, but with the fearlessness of the way they went about the job. And of course Galvin was spoken about before the game. Galvin has been the big story of the NRL season, bigger than Cherry Evans announcing he was leaving Canterbury, leaving Manly. And the manner in which he left the West Tigers left a sour taste in the players publicly on social media, and Lockie Galvin didn't perform yesterday. I'm not blaming him because I thought his forward pack
none of them
got bashed up.
None of them performed.
I thought his forward
pack. But you
know
what, Buzz? They hugged after the game, Luai and Galvin. They look like they're fine.
Oh, please. You know what? They could see a TV camera there. That was a PR hug for the cameras. Look at it. Of course it is. And I'll tell you, it disappointed me yesterday, and I don't like talking about people who work for this network. Greg Alexander carried on after the game in the studio as though this was something the media had made up, a feud between these two players. There was a deep-set dislike, and you know there is. Really.
Yeah, but I think over time, Buzz, now they're apart, I reckon it's probably mellowed to an extent. I mean, you can see that footage there. And look, they're never going to be best mates. We know that, right? No. But I think they're at a point where they both basically moved on. You know, that's how I see it. But there was angst there. There's no doubt about that. There was drama there.
It'll be there for the rest of their career.
Yeah.
When they play again next year, and I want him round one, it can't happen. It'll be on again. and it'll be on every time he's wearing a Canterbury jersey because he's playing against a club. He walked in, or his manager did, with the Doster on Benji. They don't like him. They don't. And good on the West Tigers because they fielded 17 footballers just afternoon who want to play in that jersey, and it showed.
Really, I'm going to tell you something. I hadn't played for the Dragons for 30 years, but they still remember that I left them.
Yeah.
So fans never
Oh,
forget.
the fans will never forget it. They'll never forget
So then when they
it.
play, if their fans don't ever turn up, but they will.
Yeah.
Already, Adam Dewey, career game yesterday, best game I've ever seen him play. He was the difference. He was unbelievable. Like it was an incredible game by him, and good timing for him too. He's off contract.
Yeah.
Now, the West Tigers have been adamant that they've tabled an offer. They're not going to move on that offer. This was before the game. Do you think that will remain the same? And where does that leave him with the Dragons, who I hear are after him too?
Well, they moved today, Braith, because they've now made that a 2-year offer. So it was originally just 1 year, but they've upped it today to a 2-year deal for Adam Dewey. So that's what Adam wanted. I'm not sure they've upped it. I know they upped the amount of the offer originally. I'm not sure. Well, obviously it's the second year, so it's an upgrade on that as well. So hopefully that's enough for Adam Dewey to stay, because I know he wants to stay. My understanding is
Rudy,
he wants
if
to
he
stay.
does stay, will he be the first Isaac Moses player to stay?
No.
Well, no, I'm asking you a question because that's what worries me for West Tigers fans. They saw him yesterday and he's managed by a fellow who continually drags players out of the club.
Yeah. I don't know a list of every player he's got at that footy club, but I'm sure over time there's been players that he's signed to that club who've stayed. I mean,
He's got Buller as well.
He has, but he didn't. He didn't do the Jordan Buller deal. I think he's got Tony Suka maybe, and Tony's extended. So there are guys there that he manages that have extended.
What's the level of interest at the Dragons?
Massive interest.
Massive interest. Are they offering him a
I spoke to
longer
Shane
deal?
Flanagan about him last week, and he didn't want to say anything until a deal was done. But he sees him as a lock forward at that club, a half.
Well, that's where the Tigers were going to play him, but then he started in the halves. But playing one off,
but
doing
he can
an
play
Isaiah
centre, mate, too.
Yeah, but I reckon
anywhere.
you know what? We're in 13, and I know we were sort of one off the ball, going short sides. I think that was the best game he played because he was around. He didn't have to overthink it. He's got a pretty good kicking game. He was really good yesterday.
Well, I think it'll depend on how Latu Fanu goes, Gordy, as to where he plays. And if he decides to stay next year and the year after, maybe he just plays halfback.
All right, what about, there was a little bit of controversy that came out of the game. A lot of fans weren't happy with Stephen Crichton avoiding the sin bin after his high shot on May. Here it is right here. How did you guys see this guy? Gordy, I'll come to you first. Well, what did you think of this incident?
Well, being there live when the Tigers, safe half, he got sent to the sin bin. So you think if you're there in the game and you're going to be consistent, that should have just been 10 in the bin as well. And I know that he slipped, and he did slip, but he hit him in the head and he couldn't.
The NRL have said there are mitigating circumstances in this tackle, and there wasn't mitigating circumstances
in every tackle. There's mitigating.
But look at him crouch. Look at him crouch, trying to make it. No, he was. He tried to crouch and make a tackle around the chest or stomach area, and get that.
But okay,
there was a difference.
If you want that as a defence, Nelson Asafa-Solomon has only got to crouch. Big guys just have to crouch. They'll still get them in the head. I know it's an accident, but when I was there watching it live and the flow of the game, there was a Tigers player in the bin at the time. Maybe he'd been off for 4 or 5 minutes. It was just fair, I think, just sitting there going.
But the other sin binning, mate, was direct to the head.
Yeah, so let's have a look at the safe half one. Very different. I believe it was different. Yeah, but there was still straight contact from Crichton as well, right on May.
My issue there, I reckon the Tigers should be able to activate the 18th man.
Agree.
They lose a player to a head. He was deemed an automatic category 1.
Yeah.
If you lose a player to a cat 1 from a high shot, you should be able to activate your 18th man. And they weren't able to in that situation.
That's the problem, really. Where do the Dogs get penalised there? Crichton stays on the field. Safe light's just gone off. Crichton stays on, mitigating circumstances. You can accept that, right?
Yeah, of course.
Then May goes straight off, not to return.
And you're a man short.
You're a man short. I don't know. They've got to fix that.
Particularly if the bunker rules of the Cat 1 break. That wasn't their own doctor. That was the NRL doctor
straight away.
who ruled it down straight away.
So
in that situation, where an independent person's making that decision, you should be able to activate your 18th man.
I agree. Now, Buzz, you've been back in the lab again.
Very good.
And it's with the Bulldogs attack again.
What have you done?
What have you done is the question.
Flip-flop time.
Are you flipping
No,
and flopping?
I'm not flip-flopping at all. I'm backing Cameron Serrato's move to put the young Galvin in the halves. I'm backing it because he's a great coach. I'm backing it. I did the stats though. Before Galvin arrived, 11 games, 9 wins, 25.1 points per game. Since his arrival, 8 games. Now, he hasn't played in all of those. He hasn't started in all of those.
Yep.
He's played a bit of 5'8". He's played half the last 3 weeks. Sexton's moved to hooker. Burton's moved to centre. Their average is down to 20.8. I said at the time when Galvin arrived that I thought it might be a disruption for the club. I didn't backflip, but after talking it through with Cameron, I understood why I brought Galvin to the side. But those stats are there for all to see.
So you were against it, then you were for it. Where are you?
How did you really cut your forehead?
Believe it or not, Buzz, I was in a rush today, I cut it shaving.
You didn't answer me, Buzz. Well, you've shown us the stats. What do you think should happen?
What do I think should happen? I think
If Galvin's out, would you put Sexton back in?
Yes, I would.
Yeah.
But at the moment, I would stick with Lachlan Galvin because the coach, who has been there since October with this football side, knows it a lot better than anyone else. And if he's saying Galvin's going to take him further than Sexton is, you got to believe
he
it.
might be injured, so that's going to be.
But I'm allowed to bring up stats and just show.
You're allowed to say whatever you like.
Hey?
Buzz.
You can do whatever you want.
I'd like to know the strength of the schedule, though, Buzz. Depending who they played.
Well, mate, why don't you do? I'll tell you what. Next week you can do a little bit of research. You can find your way into the lab. I'll tell you where it is. Instead of picking me apart, you can find some yourself.
I'll bring some next week. I'll come on with stats.
You're entitled to your opinion, mate.
Absolutely.
Right. Des Hasler's men trailed by 24 points at half time, but despite almost pulling off what would have been the comeback of the year, it was a trainer who stole the headlines.
They've got some individuals this afternoon that could really trouble this Penrith side.
Talagi, the kick, a little wider this time. Jenkins is there. Jenkins! Cleary, standard bolt this time. Brimson there. Talagi will challenge. Oh, Talagi's got it! This time there's Brimson. Great ball following Sammy. Tono gave it everything.
Look at the contact. Is it high there from Brian Toll? Is that enough to be a penalty?
Play's been cleared up to this point.
But how's it cleared up to this point? What about the hit in the head? Brimson, we've seen it before. Kenny changes direction. The Titans get their 4-pointer. Cleary, quick hands, the Titans hand. Campbell, Jaden Campbell, Toe, Jenkins, Campbell. Brimson is there, lost it, play on the court. Sammy scores in the corner. They're back from 24 nil.
Trainers just run straight in front of Jaden Campbell.
Well, that is disgraceful. That is disgraceful. You can't make that mistake. Unbelievable. Come on.
Yeah, I didn't see it. He's just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He apologised straight away. Anyone around it would have seen that. The Titans would know that. It's not something that anyone set out to do. It's just an honest mistake.
Campbell, he hangs it out the right.
Did it cost us the game? I don't know. He'll get breached.
Kenny has to throw it back 20 metres. Cleary takes the shot. What just happened? Kenny and Smith, Talagi, Cleary. There's McLean. Outside him is Jenkins. Panthers everywhere. They're going to win it. They've done it. When Talagi. Titans players strewn everywhere. Barely one standing. Their hearts crushed.
That was the turning point thanks to Ashley and Martin Medical Hair Centres and Gordy. The NRL are filthy. $50,000 the club has been fined, but is that enough?
Probably not. Oh, what, you don't like that, Buzz? Go ask the Broncos, would they pay $50,000 for 2 extra points? Because I reckon Penrith will finish 4th.
Gordy, you don't know who's going to kick that.
Hey?
You don't know he was going to kick that goal.
No, I don't, but when you get hit
Gordy,
goal
kickers.
Graham Annesley worked at the Titans.
Yeah.
I was there. His words to me, we get the rub, mate, we never get the rub of the green. So he's been out the NRL.
Gordy,
when do the bottom teams get the rub of the green? The Titans lost that, right? So they had a chance, put pressure on that, and they missed tackles. and then Penrith got off to a great start. But that there's unacceptable.
No, what I'm saying is goal kickers, before they line up important shots, are always heckled. There's always
let the trainers run. Well, let the trainers run in front of every player.
And I don't want that to be used as an excuse for the
It's
Titans.
not an excuse.
Yes. I think the NRL have handled this spot on. I think it's worth 50
So these
grand,
are the trainers that I was sitting on the sideline for Fox.
What do you want to find?
No, and I was sitting on the sideline for Fox, and they stopped the game. This was in the semi-final, Penrith, and I was there. I'm against Melbourne. Against Parramatta, and then the other week they're wetting the footballs.
But that
and now this.
That wasn't him.
So he didn't do that deliberately.
That wasn't him who did the.
No.
That's his first indiscretion.
That's the trainers.
He's caught
That's
5
the
weeks,
trainers at the
5
same
games.
club.
So he's paid for the sins of the past, Gordy, all the other guys. And I accept
just
that.
imagine,
and I
just
think he
imagine
should.
if the
But I'm
Titans win
saying.
that and Penrith don't finish in the top 4. It's a bigger mountain to climb.
But that's a big if, Gordy. You could say, who knows what happens in that game if they kick that goal? The whole game
So you
changes.
think that's fair then?
No, I don't think it's fair, Gordy, but I think the punishment's fair. I think the punishment's fair enough. In fact, if anything, the punishment's actually really severe. I think it's quite severe on that guy.
What money do you reckon?
Because I don't think he's done that on purpose.
What money do you reckon Penrith get if they finish in the top 4?
I don't know the numbers. Good money. It's good money, Gordy.
There you
But it's
go.
only a little bit less.
It'd probably
It's only
pay
a little
that
bit more
bill.
than
Actually,
fifth.
ring them for me, Reedy. Be a journalist.
You want to ring them now?
And say, are those 2 points worth 50,000?
Well, they probably are, Gordy.
There you go.
But I'm saying I don't think he's
That's
actually
my
done that
point.
on purpose.
Okay. So my take on this is, how long have you been training for?
4 years.
How long have you been involved with rugby league for?
Probably forever.
How many times have you seen that?
Well, I've never seen that.
Exactly.
Oh.
So what I'm trying to say is he's either the dumbest trainer we've ever had, or he's done it on purpose, because you don't see it, and it's unprofessional. It was out of line. It could have cost them the game. And I thought about it a lot, and I think we don't see it for a reason, because when you're a trainer, you know that is a no-go. It is out of limits, and you just don't do it. So he's it's either one of the stupidest things he's ever done in his life, or he's meant it. It's one or the other.
He would probably concede it's one of the stupidest things he's ever done in his life. Because there was a lot going on at that time. There was a lot going on at that time. There were a lot of people yelling at him.
Forget this incident for a second, and let's look at a solution. How to fix it. How to ensure it won't happen again. No, I'm not talking fines. Someone suggested something to me on the weekend. There's an 8-point try.
A kick in front of the post.
Foul play.
Yeah.
So if someone deliberately tries to disrupt the kicker,
I agree with
they
that.
get that conversion, then they move to the front of the goalpost.
That's great, and I think they should do that, but it doesn't help the Titans. It doesn't help the Titans.
Don't you agree with me that he should have kicked that goal anyway?
Buzz. Okay. I don't know Jaden Campbell. I don't know Jaden Campbell. But
he's pretty cool under pressure.
He seems like he's a pretty chill kid. He was really, and it's even like a golf swing when you're taking a swing and someone yells in the back of it, or you have to take your shot again. You often stuff it up. Like I'm not saying he would have kicked it, right? But it just shouldn't happen, and he should not be put in that situation. And it could have cost them the game. And you're right, Gordy's right. It was big for the Panthers. It was huge. Like that was a massive moment.
I'm not saying it wasn't silly. I'm not saying it wasn't a dumb thing to do.
It was dumb.
I'm not saying he shouldn't be sanctioned. The club shouldn't be sanctioned over it. What I'm saying is, I don't think he did it on purpose. Talking to people at Penrith about it, I don't think he's done that deliberately.
Go get some footage of him sculling a beer after the game in the dressing room.
Well, yeah, but Gordy, you can't.
What's that about?
You can't correlate the two, because
they won a football game.
He does make a point. If that happens, they treat him like a hero.
Hear me out.
Well, they probably have treated him like a hero. Because he may have inadvertently helped them win the footy game.
Oh, right. So now we're getting to the bottom of it.
All right, let's have a look at the statement, the club statement from the Penrith Panthers. The club has 5 days to respond to the breach notice. The club is adamant that the actions of the trainer were an honest mistake and there was no intent to breach the rules or gain an advantage. So, I mean, that's further to what you're saying, Reid. They're adamant it wasn't on purpose, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But geez, it was dumb. I can't.
I don't think anyone disputes that, Braith, and I think he would put his hand up and admit it was a stupid thing to do. As he apologised several times.
They haven't missed him, Gordy. 50 grand and 5 weeks.
He's not paying.
Does he have to pay it?
He's not paying.
5 weeks out of the game is a hefty suspension.
Does he have to pay it?
No,
I wouldn't think so.
No, but the 5 weeks is a fair.
I think it's warranted.
Go ask the clubs, Reedy. Would they take 5 weeks? 50,000 to be in the finals?
I'm sure they would.
I know.
I'm saying it's still a fair.
I reckon we'd pay a bit more than that.
All right, the NRL admit that Philip Sami should have been awarded a penalty try. So this was another. I mean, the Titans have had a tough afternoon. This was a stuff up too.
Yeah, I don't know the rules. I thought in the art of scoring the try, if it was foul play, maybe. So I wasn't 100% sure because he's not in the in goal. But you know, if they would have jumped on him, then it's a 8-point try or you get 2 kicks. I don't know the ruling there, but
penalty try, Gordy.
Is it a penalty try?
100% is a penalty try.
Yeah, it was admitted it was a penalty try. And I think Casey Badger will get a rest this weekend as a result of this decision. So. The NRL's taken that pretty seriously.
And it was a pretty obvious one for a bunker to miss. It really was. That was obvious.
Obvious.
And we shouldn't have mistakes like that in that determine games. It determined the result.
2 mistakes we shouldn't have had in that game, eh, Buzz? Lots of controversy, but what about the 2-point field goal from Nathan Cleary? Okay, so we've had our say about the rest of the game, but let's marvel in this. The Iceman, this was as clutch as it gets. Now, there's only been this rule's been in for 2 years. The 40-metre field goal, 2-point field goal. He's kicked 4 of them. Now
the pass from Kenny.
The pass.
That's what I was going to say. That was beautiful.
Beautiful pass. It's one thing to be under pressure, but you know he just had it in his. You could tell he had it in his mind. He had to run backwards. You know, Kenny throws a 20-metre pass, and it was never in doubt. Like this guy is just a freak.
He's a genius, Braith. I mean, just having the mind, the intelligence to get himself behind the 40-metre line. And once he got there, you know, he missed one soon after that was closer than that. But this situation when the game's on the line, you've got to kick that to send it to Golden Port. You just knew he was going to make it.
And you know what? That grand final time, we could come back to that moment just there that got them into the top 4, that got them to a grand final.
He's done it before.
That's how crucial.
When they played Parramatta.
He nearly did one from dummy half one day at Parramatta.
But he's just he's so cool under pressure. And he has such clarity under pressure.
But the Kenny pass, as Gordy said, was as special as it gets.
Spot on by
and once he kicked that, you've gone. They're
probably
going to win this game.
That was the feeling, right?
Yeah.
Now the Titans' results have been a lot better the last couple of weeks. Are we impressed, Reed?
They've been better, Braith, but I just wonder whether maybe it's too little, too late because you know obviously they've still got a bit of work to do to avoid the spoon. I think we can all see that probably Des's time with that club's coming to an end. So. They've left it too late to make their run.
Well, it's probably this Sunday against South, wouldn't you think, at 2 o'clock?
So is he safe now? Is he safe or not, Des?
Look, the managers of big name players are ringing rival clubs saying they're not happy there. I'm talking Bo Firm, I'm talking Campiera, who scored 27 tries the year before last. We don't know what Tino's doing, we don't know what Fafita's doing. So there's a lot of uncertainties. But look, the Frizzell family, I think, need to fast-track a decision reasonably quickly before these players, you know, do make decisions on, you know, that might affect, you know, the future of that club. I love the way Des has rallied them the last couple of weeks, but as you said, Ree, it might be too little too late.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's still no certainty to avoid a wooden spoon, Buzz. You know, even though they're playing better, they're not winning. Yeah. And this, as you said, Gordy, the game this week, South, I mean, it's a massive game.
Well, I think if they lose this week, it's all over.
Put a line through them.
Yeah, they need to win for him to have any chance. Now, what about the Cowboys? They were poor against the Sharks, and Peyton is seriously under the pump now, isn't he? Buzz, have you heard anything around him and the club?
Yeah, I'm told there's serious pressure. I'm surprised you didn't want a meter on tonight like that.
We'll get that back.
Pressure gauge?
Yeah, we bumped Siebes up a little bit too, Reedy, after your mate. No, the pressure meter is getting towards extreme with the coach. I looked at their last 11 games. They've won 3. And they're against basically the bottom 3 sides.
What's his numbers on the meter?
5 or 6 Origin players in that football side.
Is this you in the lab again? Or?
No, this isn't me in the lab again. But you can see they've beaten the Titans, they've beat the Dragons, they've beaten
Tigers up the top left.
Yeah, and you look at the size of some of the, you know, their for and against is second worst to the Rabbitohs. And the Rabbitohs have got a New South Wales Cup side. And it's just not good enough with that roster.
Next time you go to the lab, Buzz, can you just make sure you talk us through the lab? You
know what? I'm going to ban.
I put the work up there for you. You got to talk us through it.
Yeah, but you two keep trying to pick it apart, right? So you can go to the lab yourself next week.
Who would replace?
Josh Hannay would. He's an old Townsville boy.
Mackay boy, a North Queensland boy.
Yeah, North Queensland boy. He's crying out for an opportunity.
You might have to get in quick though, with him. Buzz. There's a few clubs looking at Josh Hannay.
Yeah.
Who?
Well, Gold Coast will obviously be in the mix if they move
He's
on.
close to Peter Parr in Newcastle too. They work
I reckon
together.
Adam might be okay there unless things go downhill fast.
There you go.
Okay.
I tell you, he's safe after yesterday, Benji.
Yeah, well, Benji was never in doubt, I don't
Oh,
think.
wasn't he?
No.
They
Richo's
did
back
lose
in
8 in a row,
constantly.
mate.
Mate, they've improved.
Yeah.
As I pointed out in the press conference yesterday, Benji.
Did he have a crack?
Yeah, a little crack, yeah.
What, can you talk us through what happened there?
Well, I said everyone can see you've improved this year, Benji. And he went, oh, have we? Why don't you write it then? I said, I have been saying it for weeks, Ben.
that's a good one.
Have you? No, I haven't read that article from you.
No, I've been saying it, I haven't written it.
Where? To who?
On here.
1-0 Benji, that is.
Please.
Yeah, right power. All right, yesterday, some sad news. Rugby league legend Sam Backo, has passed, Gordy, one of the great Queenslanders.
Yeah, you know, what a character. Sam, we sort of would meet him around the Fogs and all those lunches. In the 88, I reckon I was 15 and 16 when he played for Queensland. He had a couple of really great series. I think in the 88 Test series, I think he's one of the, there's only a few players that scored a try in each test that he played, but a big North Queensland guy, with a huge motor actually. I think Wayne Bennett said that he was one of the better trainers that he's ever had for like a big guy. He'd get through the kilometres and just knew how to find the try line, and very sad and too young. So.
Yeah, had the pleasure of interviewing Big Sam a few times, once before a test match at the Park Royal in Brisbane. And what I loved about Sam Backo, he was so natural. And a lot of our interviews these days are particularly cliche answers and, so, you know, PR trained footballers. Sam Backo was the craziest interview. He really was. He told us and mate, you turn your tape recorder on, you walk away with a great story. And he was a massive, massive character, apart from being a great
I just love that
player.
interview too. Like, do you remember that interview after the game, after one of the State of Origin?
He dropped.
So good. It was so good.
Bombs and stuff. Yeah. He was a cult figure, wasn't he?
Yeah.
As a Queenslander.
Yeah, absolutely. Mate, it would have been so hard to tackle.
Even us part-time Queenslanders love Sam Backo.
Touche. No, really, you're full-time.
Oh, thanks, mate.
From everyone here at Fox League, we would like to pass on our condolences to the Backo family after the passing of Sam yesterday. Welcome back. Let's take a look at the nominees for our Sportsbet Player of the Round. Now, first is Reece Walsh with 5 try involvements in that big win against the Bunnies. Nathan Cleary with that 2-point field goal. Sam Walker, 3 try assists against the Seagulls. And Adam Dewey with a career game and 12 points. All 4 outstanding. But Sam Walker, does he get the 6 or the 7 next year with DCE going?
Definitely wearing the 7 jersey next year at the Sydney Roosters, I'm told. You saw White Bookie the other day, doesn't have a long kicking game, but if you're caught anywhere out of position at the back, last tackle, he'll find, and he put on a couple of tries there the other night.
Do you agree with that, being a 6 yourself?
Oh, I've had, you know, for me, DCE, I've said it a few times, I see as a more controlled, composed. You disagreed with me, Reedy, last week, but I think the more Sam plays and the more he gets that balance of, you know, instinct and control, because he can be a little bit erratic, and even his players, and you don't want to take that away from him. But as a 7, you've got to get the game management on, you know, you've got to get those kicks to the corners and get to the right spots on the field, and, you know, again, it's all about balance. He has the potential to be a great 7 for 10 or 15 years, and yeah, you know, I'd give him a first dibs at it. I've got no problem with it.
If DCE does play 5'8", which we expect him to do, they will miss Hugo Savala's distance kicks, field position kicks.
Daly's got a good kicking game.
Yeah. Look, I actually think it'll work.
Guys, are they going to be happy sitting there for 1 or 2 years? Because that's the question. Like, you look at the young kids at the Tigers,
will go to 14. I think Savala will go to 14.
I think
and I agree with Braith. While you're putting the finishing touches on Sam as a footballer, he's got to learn game management and control of the football side, and I think DCE might help him there.
Yeah, Savala will have a great, I suppose, an apprenticeship behind DCE next year at 14. He can play a number of positions. He can fill in if either of those two are injured, which happens throughout a year, and then he can step right into that. You know, he's ready to go now, but he'll be even more ready. But as long as they keep him happy too, because He'd have other clubs circling him.
14's not a bad shirt to wear.
No, I know that, and he's a good kid. I think he'll be fine, but they've got to upgrade his contract, I think, because he's only on development.
But the other problem for him, Braith, is they've got Toby Rodwell coming in below him.
Yeah, exactly.
And in 2 years' time, when Daly's gone, maybe Rodwell's ready to play first grade.
That's true.
And maybe Savalas missed his chance.
Yeah, but you know what, Reedy? The great clubs have these pathways. And we're looking at that with the Canterbury Bulldogs. They've got Lachlan Galvin there at half, and they've got Woods coming through. They've got Sexton in both of them. And you need that, you know.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean the blokes who are there now.
But Toby Rodwell is a first-grade footballer in 2 years.
I can't imagine Sanders.
He's got to be gone, hasn't he, quickly?
I can't imagine he'll be there next year.
He'll be gone next year,
I think
right?
he'll be gone.
Sanders Smith.
Oh, yes.
All right. It was reported Seabold needed to make the 8 to be safe for next year. Is that still...
Come on, Reedy.
I think he's going to be fine, Braith. I don't think Seabs will lose his job. Look, obviously that was a really poor performance on the weekend. Shocking performance, actually. But I think at the moment he's still got the club's support, and I think he'll be there.
Has he got the dressing room?
Depends who you listen to, Gordy. I mean, there's some suggestions that some players...
So he's got some players, but not all of them.
Well, that's what it feels like, and based on the way they've played in the past month or so, you'd say everyone's not happy, but... some of those players have got to look at their own form, don't they?
One more question. Does he have the local boys?
Probably not.
The last
Probably
name starts
not.
with T. They're the ones.
Well, I've heard what everyone's heard, that some of those boys aren't overly happy with the way things are unfolding.
We reported weeks ago that there was some succession plan.
Yeah, and they confirmed that last year, that Michael Ennis was part of a long-term discussion.
Is that still the case?
I'd see no reason why they'd change that. But I even spoke to Michael Ennis about that at the time. And he was sort of a bit embarrassed by the talk. He knew about the succession plan, but he didn't think he was ready to walk straight from Fox Sports into a head coaching role.
What
and
about Matty Ballon?
Time.
His name's been...
Well, Matt Ballon is a club favourite, particularly with the old boys, who are still got quite a powerful influence around the club. But it's a big decision they have to make, Reedy. The only reason being, if Manly, we expect at the start of the year would be a top 4 club. I think a lot of people did. And they're going to be flat out. I don't think they'll make the 8.
I mean, Buzz, I understand that, and I was one of the people who thought they could make the top 4. But no one foresaw what happened to that club this year. With the Dalich Evans issue, Tommy struggling, Jake's form hasn't been great to the point where I think contract negotiations at the moment have slowed down because...
who puts their hand up? Is it the CEO, is it the coach, is it the players, is it the halfback? Because you can't blow up a season the way they have.
We could talk about this all night when we get to Jason Riles, who's coming up on Heavy Hitters. So thank you very much, Reedy. That was great work from you.
My mum's birthday today, bro.
Oh, happy birthday to your mum. Happy birthday.
Love you.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Reid.
Yeah, it's nice.
She loves Buzz.
Of course she does. She probably wouldn't like me with the other little battles. Buzzy, make sure you bring the coach meter back next week. Thanks, Journo's up next. It's Heavy Hitters with Parramatta Eels coach Jason Riles. Welcome back. Now it's time for Heavy Hitters with Eels coach Jason Riles. Rilesy, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Jace.
Close one on the weekend. Melbourne Storm, old club, quite emotional there in the box, I could see, and you got close. Yeah. How much would it have meant to beat them?
I don't think it would have been any more than a normal win, but I think we're just getting close against the teams at the top of the ladder, and I think we showed that against the Broncos a couple of weeks ago, and we're getting better each week, and to get that close against the Storm, who's been at the top of the tree for such a long time, was pleasing signs.
We'll go into where the club's at, the team's at, and where it's come from when you first started. But I want to ask you first, how is it being an NRL head coach?
Yeah, it's busy.
A bit crazy?
Yeah, it's busy. It's something different every day. I think a guy said to me a little while ago, you'll turn up to work, there'll be 5 things that you did not expect would happen that day, and he's pretty close. So it's not always 5 things every day, but over the course of the week it adds up. So it's but at the same time, I spent a long time watching guys, like Craig and Trent and Eddie and those guys, ply their trade and learn a lot of lessons along the way, and had a pretty good grounding before I got into it. And I've also got some experienced coaches around me, which really helps as well. So they're really good sounding boards, and whilst it's pretty hectic and there's been a lot of change at our club this year and a lot of decisions to be made, I can't complain.
You had a slow start to the year, but I'm assuming you had to change systems in maybe defence and attack. So you went a few steps backwards to go forwards, right? And you're in a good spot now. Are you surprised with where you are now, and also why was it such a slow start?
Well, basically, with Regan and Clint obviously departing the club, that's a lot of experience to lose straight up. That's probably one thing. And then, the way that I believe that the game should be played was totally different to what was there before. So there was a lot of new things for the players, a lot of new things for the administration, a lot of new ways of training, and, a different belief system from the coach obviously filters right through. So, we basically deconstructed it to reconstruct, and it just takes time. And I think the biggest lesson for me so far in that regard is that it does take time. But the pleasing part is we're seeing the improvement, week on week, especially this time of the year.
Talking to some of the coaches that I've had, one of the big decisions is letting players go and club legends. So at the beginning of the year, there was Gutherson, and you had to let a bit of experience go in. Regan Campbell-Gillard, is that one of the tougher decisions that you had to make?
Yeah,
so early in your career.
Yeah, no, definitely. It was certainly, on reflection, they're big calls, but at the time, they had opportunities to extend their career for really good money that I couldn't provide for them going forward. I couldn't provide any certainty. So it kind of happened naturally. And, with the support of the club, that obviously helped. And it was obviously they're big decisions to make, but I think they were the right decisions at the time. Although a lot of people probably didn't see it. I think how it's panned out. I think it was really good to get that out of the way really early.
And what is your recruitment strategy moving forward? Is it young kids, a lot of kids around the Parramatta area, or a bit of youth, or going to go for someone a bit more experienced?
So right at the minute, we've got 2 players out on loan. So there's obviously a few balls in the air with us going forward as in regards to what we can do. What I do know is that our fullback position's locked down for a number of years. Our halfback's in there for the next 4.5 years, and we've locked down 2 emerging hookers that are going to be, if they keep working hard and tracking the way they are, they're going to be elite. So that's a really important part of the roster that's locked down at the moment. And the thing at Parramatta that I've found straight away is our pathways is really strong. We've had 6 Australian schoolboys the last 12 months. We've signed one from Brisbane, your old club, Gordy, and we've got the SG Ball Player of the Year there as well. So with the investment that the club's put into our pathways, we're starting to see the green shoots of that. So I'm going to give those guys every opportunity to be NRL players at Parramatta.
Exciting times at the club. You have been touted now for a while as a promising head coach with a big future, and you had offers at other clubs. You've been quite patient. Why'd you choose the Parramatta Eels?
Yeah, so last year, was it last year or the year before? So when the Dragons and the Melbourne one came up, I was a fair way down the track with the Dragons one, and then the Melbourne opportunity came up, and that basically threw a spanner in the works and gave me something to really think about. So that was basically the long and the short of it there, and the opportunity to go down to Melbourne, and obviously didn't work out in the end. But why the Parramatta Eels? So 1, the opportunity came up, and 2, I knew the opportunity there with the pathways and with the way that they played. It was a little bit different to how I believe. So I knew I could get some growth there reasonably quickly over a couple of years. So it was certainly attractive, and I'm grateful that I got the opportunity.
The Dylan Brown situation, it's not ideal when you lose a good player like him, but obviously to blood the young kids, is that another decision that you're comfortable with? Hard to make? Yeah,
it's certainly hard to make. I think it's been made a hell of a lot easier with Dylan's attitude around it. He's an exceptional kid, and he's been really supportive of what we've done so far with the change. Obviously, no person in their right mind would knock back that offer from Newcastle that they gave him. So, and we were very supportive, and I was very supportive of him at the time. He had a fair bit to deal with there for a period, but but at the same time, I was really clear pre-June 30 that there was an opportunity to go early, and if you didn't take it, I can't guarantee you being in the team every single week. So I think the honesty and the transparency between us two has certainly helped that situation. But like you said, I just want to move on now. The future's now. Let's get on with it.
What about Mitchell Moses? You made him captain at the start of the year, and some say he's the best half in the competition. If not, he's one or two. That's how good he's going. What does he mean to your footy club?
Yeah, it was. So obviously, we went through our leadership program at the start, and it was quite clear that Mitchell was a leader amongst the group. How he led has probably evolved since I first got there, and obviously we have a program there that assists that. But Mitchell's a competitor. He loves the club. Obviously, he's our halfback and he's our leader on the field, and gives us really good direction. Kicks the ball well. So it all sort of pointed towards Mitchell being the logical choice. But we had to go through a process there. Obviously, Jing is a really strong leader as well. But with Mitchell signing the long-term deal and being our halfback, I think it was quite a natural choice.
Did you always want to be a coach, Rosie? I played with you one day, and I never ever thought that you would ever just want to go down this path. Was it something that you were always in the back of the mind?
Yeah, well, no. Short answer, no. But I got an opportunity down at West Wollongong, which is my junior club, one of my junior clubs, and I, as a player coach, and within 3 months of doing that, I just had the bug, and then I didn't have an aspiration to be an NRL coach right from the start, but it just kind of happened naturally, and and here I am today.
We were surprised after this moment where you tried to be Mitchell Moses, but it didn't quite work.
Yeah.
I was in this game. I can't actually remember what happened, but I remember the ball went to you, and this was
a bit ahead of your time going for a 2-point field goal.
I remember. I knew Todd was over me right shoulder.
Yeah. You just wanted to take the shot.
That moment in the game, or that moment.
Oh, Braith! Look at you. Mate, you were really calm about it.
He was filthy. He sprayed me. Yeah, proper. Yeah. But and Toddy wasn't real nice afterwards either.
Well, Rosie, mate, as an ex-teammate and a mate of yours, you're doing a fantastic job, mate. To see where you've come as a head coach, and you're having some success already with the Parramatta Eels, and we wish you all the very best moving forward, mate. Thanks for coming on.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, up next, we reveal our player of the round, and following us, it's the latest edition of Maddie and Crom.
Cleary's going back to a 2-point position. Kenny has to throw it back 20 metres. Cleary takes the shot. What do we want to do? Oh my God! 2 points. They waited for a lead moment ever. Talk about glazing. Oh my goodness! What just happened? That is him. Kenny's pass went 25 metres. Back inside that 25 metres.
Welcome back. That was Nathan Cleary making his mark thanks to Steel Blue, established in comfort. And our player performance of the round is Adam Dewey with 40% of the vote. And boy, did he deserve that after that performance against the Bulldogs, Gordy.
Well, all four of them, if they probably don't play, they don't win. But Adam Dewey was outstanding. Just saying those conditions, congratulations to the Tigers.
And that's it for NRL 360 for tonight. Now it's time for Maddie and Cronk.